For all the drama that's coming out of the White House these days,
It all comes down to the difference between a hole and a house.
one of the most underreported angles has been the relationship between Donald Trump and Rupert Murdoch. For years, according to those who have reported on him, Trump has sought the attention of Murdoch, the mogul in charge of 21st Century Fox and, of course, Fox News.
And thank you to my very good friend, Rupert Murdoch. There's only one Rupert that we know.
And Murdoch, well,
If you look at the Michael Wolff piece, you have Rupert Murdoch quoted as calling him an idiot.
Rupert Murdoch is quoted in the book calling him a blanking idiot.
welcome to the wild, complex, and mutually beneficial world of Donald Trump and Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch acquired the New York Post in 1976, and for years, you could open up the tabloid and you'd be liable to see Donald Trump in those pages.
Trump was a favorite staple of Murdoch's New York Post, frequently appearing in its gossip columns, on its front covers, sometimes fueling the coverage with his actions, sometimes fueling the coverage with his own tips, often about himself.
Now, from the outside, these two might seem comparable, two wealthy CEOs running family empires, but in the high-stakes world of the business elite, the two don't exactly stack up.
He would have actually likely looked down on Donald Trump as just another player in the drama that unfolded every day in the Post and then later every day on Fox News. Useful, amusing, colorful, but certainly not important.
In Murdoch, Trump might see the man he aspires to be, mogul, patriarch of a closely held family empire, dinner party host to the world elite.
You have in Murdoch a person who was doing what I think Trump wanted to do himself, but getting very rich doing it in a way that didn't have to be puffed up. In Donald Trump's case, the wealth and power has often been imaginary, and I think for that reason he would have admired Murdoch immensely.
That dynamic held pretty firm for decades, until the 2016 election. Murdoch railed against a Trump nomination, through tweets, through headlines in the New York Post, and by supporting pretty much every other Republican candidate.
I don't think Murdoch saw Trump as a serious candidate. I don't think he thought of him as holding fixed policy views. I don't think he saw him as reliable in conservative policies. I don't think he saw him as useful.
Now, at this point, it already feels like ancient history, but in the summer of 2015, Trump and Fox News were at each other's throats.
Fox News chairman and CEO Roger Ailes is hitting back at Donald Trump.
He writes, Donald Trump's surprise and unprovoked attack on Megyn Kelly during her program last night is as unacceptable as it is disturbing.
Of course, we know how this ends. Despite opposition from the Republican leadership apparatus and the conservative intelligentsia, Trump prevailed. And Murdoch, with an assist from Jared Kushner, he made peace with then-candidate Trump. Murdoch began chatting frequently with Trump as the campaign heated up, and those calls have continued with Trump in the White House. But if Murdoch is faking it, he's doing it for a compelling reason.
I think what counts for it is a calculation, a pragmatism, a decision by Rupert Murdoch that he would get what it was that he had always wanted in this country, what he has had for decades in Britain and in his native Australia, and that's direct access to the person at the very top of the pyramid.
He reportedly had a hand in Trump's FCC pick. The FCC, of course, has the power to make, or these days get rid of, regulations that affect some of Murdoch's businesses. Trump's Justice Department, meanwhile, is attempting to block AT&T's purchase of Time Warner, one of Murdoch's biggest competitors and the parent company of CNN. And as for Trump, well, he finally gets Rupert Murdoch's attention, not to mention unfailingly positive coverage on Fox News.
So why do you support the president?
I think across the boards he's just been outstanding. I think he's probably the greatest president that our country has ever seen.
Here's the key, though. The relationship between Trump and Murdoch is transactional, a marriage of convenience. They both can be helpful to each other right now. Trump is leader of the free world. Murdoch leads a hugely popular cable news operation that boosts Trump. But what if that changes?
I think Murdoch is in it for now, and I think Murdoch is in it for as long as it's useful, but he is able to turn on a dime like no other 80-year-old you've seen shy of, the late Gene Kelly. When Trump is no longer useful to him, whether in or out of office, Murdoch will abandon him, and Fox News will effectively forget him.